Our daughter can one day come up to me and be like, hey, Dad, can I have a candy bar? And I could say yes, but Mom said no. And so now we're not in unity. We have a divided household over something that we would call small. But what that does to the child is, again, they're going to cling to one parent over the other because one says
what they want to hear.
Yeah.
So I was thinking yesterday, because we're talking about how we haven't filmed together in such a long time. And we had some time together, so we're like, let's think of an idea. And the thought came to me, how has our marriage changed since having a baby? Because that's a whole new dynamic. And we were just kind of brainstorming things. Mm-hmm. And the first thing that we both had thought of is the time we spent together. I think that's honestly the biggest change that we've walked through, and probably other people have also walked through, is when there's a baby and you have the role as mom and dad, and I think especially obviously for mothers, you don't have nearly as much time together. Especially us, we had a lot of time together before because just our life dynamic. But baby, breastfeeding, burping, changing diaper, all that stuff, putting down for naps, having baby sleep on you, like there wasn't a lot of time for us together, especially I would say quality time one-on-one. Yeah. And so that's something that's really changed, and it's forcing us to be creative with the time that we do have. And we're realizing more and more that we need to use the moments that we do have where Lydia's sleeping together and not just like doing anything else that doesn't really matter.
And we're walking in this currently. And like she was saying, we were talking about these things yesterday. So that right there, we had some time finally. Lydia wasn't around. She was probably sleeping. And so we were just spending time together talking. We actually had an amazing time when she was...
2 nights ago, right?
Yeah, 2 nights ago. Lydia was sleeping. And the kids in the house that we're staying with, they have a trampoline outside. And so Gabby and I were just hanging, jumping on the trampoline, talking, laughing, having fun. And
which hasn't happened in forever.
It's been so long. And so that's kind of the importance of this video, is because if there's any of you right now who are young, married, and you have kids on the way, or you currently have kids, this is a huge deal. And because I feel like even right now, when we try to have a serious conversation, and this is hard for me to say with it not sounding mean, but it's just the rawness of marriage, is what happens is without spending time together and having quality time, conversations can be kind of dry, and you could just be sitting across from the other person and it's just dead silence because you don't know what to talk about. You haven't spent time with that person. And if you look at that in the spiritual sense, which has happened, imagine not talking to God for so long. You're not in the Word, you're not praying and worshiping. When you finally come back to that point, it's like, where do I start? Even though He's right there, He wants to talk to you, but there's that awkwardness of like, I don't know what to do, Lord. And so that happens in marriage as well. And we're walking that out currently. And so...
I would say a second thing too that literally just came to my mind as he was speaking, because he had mentioned 2 days ago how we went on the trampoline, is you can get so caught up on being a mom and father, and of course that is so important, so don't hear me wrong, but where you're not having fun together. And I feel like it's so easy to get in this mindset of I'm just here because I have to work and provide and I have to change diapers and feed her, where it's like the time together, you just feel so drained and tired that you're not just having fun together. And so when we had that day a few days ago, I'm like, wow, this is so refreshing. Like, I feel like I'm still a child of God, you know, and I'm not just only thinking about responsibilities, which of course you should not ignore those because that's not the way to handle things, but definitely still prioritizing like having fun with your spouse.
I think, yeah, and I want to add to that. Like, obviously we both have our rings and we have the label, you know, that we're married. But I like seeing married couples who can still consider themselves friends. Mm-hmm. Just like when we got to know each other and we had that time, we were friends. And
really
we would,
good friends.
And we would talk about deep things and we would laugh. And that's something that shouldn't change. Obviously, in marriage, there is the serious moments. With children, there's the moments you have to discipline and take things seriously. But at the same time, things should not just be serious. Things should be fun and exciting, and you should be best friends with your spouse. And I just really think it's important to make time for that, because in the stage that we're in, Gabby did things all natural. She's breastfeeding our daughter, and I bring that up because we haven't had a date in what it feels like a long time.
Many months.
And so we're actually excited because we're planning on doing that soon. And so that'll be nice.
That will be nice. Even another thing that comes to my mind about how things have changed within us is, for me, it's been a lot of perspective. I think both of us have come from a point, just like different seasons of our life, where we kind of disregarded the practical areas just because we see some people that take it too far and then kind of ignore the spiritual things, where it's like we just looked and picked and choose certain things. So it's coming to my mind how important it really is to be a husband and to work and provide and protect in those types of things, and not just pray and lead in those ways. And then also for a mom, how important it is to serve and cook and clean and change diapers and things like that. Where to us, I don't think it became real till we had to start walking these things and saying, oh wow, this is still spiritual because I'm doing this unto the Lord. And if we disregard those things, then how can we go out and do ministry and think we're, mighty and high if we can't even do the little? And I'm just like, that's convicting. Because there's definitely a time where we're like, oh, that's not really important.
I think we need to also learn to value each role individually, because that's something that I lack in majorly, because I can be so overwhelmed and stressed about the role that I'm playing as leader and husband. And I know she probably has her stressful moments with being a mom. And when we're so focused on our own thing and trying to do what we're called to do, you don't see what the other person is going through. And so we're also walking through that, because before Lydia, we never, had that. Like, I wasn't really thinking about what she was doing, and I don't know what she would say about me, but specifically with a daughter, having a child, now that has come up, and we're like, okay, like what she's doing is super valuable and important. And I know that with my head knowledge, but I still am not in a place where I know that in my heart yet. And that's one of my struggles. And so I think that's something that will come up, and just be prepared for that, because that's where the selfish nature has to die. And you have to put your spouse before yourself.
Yeah.
And so
I would say there's one last thing that I thought of, and it's being a team. Like, obviously you're supposed to be a team the moment you get married, but it's especially important when you have a little person depending on you, because it's our responsibility to raise Lydia, of course. And so we have to be a team to raise her, even before she's even thinking and seeing us interact and things like that. But even as having a baby, like, I can't do 100% everything. Obviously Dylan can't do 100% everything. And so, like, seeing each other be the teammate that we need, basically. Because there's going to be moments that I need help, and there's going to be moments that he needs help. More so me, because I'm the I'm the primary, I don't want to say primary parent, but as a mom, obviously you have your kid more. And so
I feel like Lydia obviously flocks to mom typically.
Yeah, which is normal for babies.
I think, I was just going to say that. I feel like it's common that at such a young age, they just cling to mama bear, and it makes sense. I would say what I want to add to what she is saying is something that I notice in a lot of families that especially aren't Christian, is that kids can tend to flock to one parent over the other, and that ties back into everything that we've been talking about. It's because the parents aren't having communication. It's because the parents aren't in unity about all things. And it can even be little things, and so, it's just the teamwork. It goes beyond just, big topics like how are we going to discipline our child, but our daughter can one day come up to me and be like, hey, Dad, can I have a candy bar? And I could say yes, but Mom said no. And so now we're not in unity, and we have a divided household over something that we would call small. But what that does to the child is, again, they're going to cling to one parent over the other because one says
what they want to hear.
And there's even scripture on that. People hear what they want to hear. Lydia's now
She's
currently
waking up right now.
Waking up, so I think we ended at the perfect time.
Yes.
Comment down below what you guys want more of, what you want us to touch on and share, because we want to be more real and genuine on camera. We have no problem sharing things like this. Obviously, there's things that stay off camera, and we're led by the Holy Spirit ultimately. But we're also going to continue doing some solo videos. I have a series that I'm excited to start up, so stay tuned for that. But give Gabby some video suggestions that she can film so that she can aim videos more so at the women who watch her videos. And if you want me to touch on anything, you know, that relate to the men, feel free to comment that below as well. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. You guys have a blessed day or night, whenever you're watching this. Yeah. And yeah, bye.
Bye.
I don't know.
Bye.